Hi everyone, this is George from Apothecos, and this is a quick tutorial on how to use charcoal for burning incense. First and foremost, you want to keep anything that's burning or anything incense related out of the reach of children and pets. Children and pets and charcoal and incense generally don't go very well together. So you want to burn your charcoal in a fire safe container. Now, what I mean by a fire safe container is something like this. You would use a sensor. There's also thuribles that you can use. But what I mean really is a container that you can fill with sand. Now, there's some sand in there that's thick walled, preferably just ceramic or a thick walled metal, just something that's going to be fire resistant. It's going to keep a barrier between your lit charcoal and the world around it. Also, with your container, you don't want to set it directly on a surface. It's still going to build up a bit of heat, as you can see on here a little bit, but always place it on something, say like a tile, some thick wood, something to that effect that's going to be able to create a further barrier. Don't ever place it directly on a surface. Don't leave your charcoal unattended while it's burning, of course. Also, when you're burning your charcoal, allow it to burn out completely before you get rid of the ashes. Don't ever think that, oh well, it's burned and I'm just going to chuck it out. No, make sure it's completely burned out, completely cool before you dispose of your ashes. Always use fire safe tools to handle your hot charcoals. When say your charcoal kind of tips to the side or something like that, you want to use something that's non-flammable, that's going to be able to position it, like some small tongs, maybe even an old piece of silverware you may have, a fork or a knife or something, just to kind of move it around a little bit. Let's see. So let's get right to it then. Okay, so this is your charcoal. Typically, whether you got it from me or from someone else, this is what it's going to look like. So you have this charcoal here. It's just a disc of charcoal. It has like a little lip on one edge. Get some light on that. There we go. So you have a lip on one edge, so where you can put your charcoal in here, and you have a rounded edge that you place in your sensor and in your sand. So the easiest way to do this is just to place it right in the sensor and to light the edge of the charcoal. Don't ever hold it in your hand while you're lighting it, because this charcoal has a tendency to ignite rather quickly. So it will, if you light it, it'll spread across and you'll end up with some burned fingers. So never do that. Just, you can hold it in some tongs if you like. My preferred method is to place it right in the sand, and you can use a match or your trusty butane lighter. You just light the edge of it. You can see it starts to sputter a little bit. Just wait for it to catch, and it'll start burning. Sometimes it takes a few tries, but to hold it there for a moment. Now you can see it started to catch. Now what I mean by catching is if you look really closely, see those sparks running across that charcoal? That means it started to burn. So you want to give it a few moments and let it just continue to burn. Preferably the container you should use should have a lid like this, just in case, because sometimes these charcoals tend to pop a little bit. But if you don't, just make sure that your container is deep enough to be able to contain this charcoal and, like I said before, be a barrier. So you just want to let your charcoal burn for a bit. You should start to feel a little bit of heat coming off of it. There it goes. Okay. So you start, once it starts to burn all the way across, I don't know if you can see this completely, but if you look, you can see that there is a tiny amount of ash, like right about there, starting to form on your charcoal. Now, when you see that ash start to form, then after it's been burning out for a little while, then you can start to put your incense on your charcoal. Now, one charcoal disc will burn for about 45 minutes. Now, if that's not the amount of time you really want to burn incense for, then you can always divide the charcoal up into halves or to quarters, just to reduce the time that it burns for, or to reduce the amount of smoke that the charcoal makes. So, and it's also never a bad idea to keep a little dish of water nearby. As we all know, fire is unpredictable, and in the case of an emergency, it's a lot better just to have some water nearby rather than to have to go running for it. So remember, fire is always hungry, and it's not very picky about what it eats, so use some caution. So now once you see the ash start to form, your incense is in your charcoal, and it should start to burn in just a moment or two. There it goes. And that's it. Just remember, be cautious, be respectful of fire. It's a powerful thing. It can be a powerful thing for your incense or for your rituals, and this can be a method that can be very enjoyable. It's almost kind of a ritual in itself, just starting the charcoal, having it placed in the censer, waiting for it to burn. But like I said, always be careful with your charcoal, always be careful with fire, and just enjoy yourself. Okay, so that's my quick tutorial, and thank you for watching.